Hi everybody, this is Zombie and welcome to another one of my dungeon boss videos. Quite a surprising new hero this time then from boss fight. We've got a supposedly cute, but we all know she's evil, look at those claws, Easter bunny named Hopper. I guess they didn't spend too much time on the name for her though. So she is a fast monster rogue and I've been using her for less than 24 hours now, but already it's quite clear what her application in PvP is, which is resurrection denial, which I'll go into more detail later on in the video. Firstly though, her ascensions, on the top left you can see her first ascension and on the bottom right you can see her second ascension. Okay, let's go take a look at her traits next. So as already mentioned, she is a fast hero. Next we've got Rabid, which is a chance to disease melee attackers and a chance to disease on bite attacks. Quite useful for applying that debuff. This one though is what it's all about. This is why I like her so much at the moment. So Hoppy Ending removes enemy corpses and heals for each corpse removed. You'll see this in action shortly with some in-game footage and I'll explain why that is so good. Insatiable gains max HP on bite attacks and gains energy on critical. So this helps to keep Hopper alive, which is good. And lastly, she has unnatural fear, the same as the rest of the beasts. I've not seen too much use out of this one myself, but who knows, maybe you guys have. Let's go take a look at her abilities. So the first one is Just a Taste, which is a melee physical bite attack on all enemies with a chance to mark the enemy with the most HP. And marked enemies take ×2 bite damage, so not too bad. And because that ties in with this one, it means that the enemies that you attack with it, because it's a bite attack, do get a chance to be diseased, which is pretty useful. Eat and Run, 2 melee physical bite attacks on an enemy that does blah based damage, wounds and then adds evasion. I've not found too much of a use for this one for my build of Hopper, but again, if you've got an attack build Hopper, maybe it would be. And lastly, we've got Soul Devour, which is a ranged dark attack for some damage that does lifesteal and steals all buffs, adding them to the caster. So if you've got a defender with a bunch of buffs on them, you can steal them off them essentially. Very useful. Now, in PvP raids, I've not used either of these to a great deal because, as you can imagine, you don't have the energy to have these charged up. But Eat and Run is just like Just a Taste in that it's a bite attack. So the Rabid trait does apply to it. And then finally for the hero screen, we have got my rune configuration. I'll explain why I've gone for a setup that's PvP heavy defensive in a sec. But ideally, I do want to change out these two to purple tactics runes. I've not made ones that I like just yet. I've got one just here with an 8% and one just here for a 6. They're not great though. They didn't get very far. I want to try and craft a legendary. So goodbye gems, I'm afraid. From what I've experienced so far then, her strongest application is a supporting role in a PvP attack team where the defense has the likes of either Emily or Leo on it. When anyone in your team kills an enemy, Hopper bounds over and stomps their corpse into the ground, meaning that resurrection is impossible. In the build that I'm using, her attack's a bit of an afterthought as they don't do much damage, but as I mentioned earlier with that ability, she is able to disease and that debuff really is quite handy. Make note though, if she is dead, she's not going to be stomping any corpses anytime soon, and so thus becomes entirely useless, which is why I went for a purely defensive rune build. She needs to stay on her feet at all costs, so I'd highly recommend that you don't bother with an attack build at this time. I've not messed with Hopper much in PvE or PvP defense, so I can't really offer a solid opinion on that right now. I would say though that for PvP defense, I have fought teams with her on and she was beaten quite easily, even though with some guy he had her as 6-star, really good runes on her, still didn't make too much of an impact, I'm afraid. In summary then, is she a game changer? Well, within her niche, yes, for sure. She's broken the Emily Koros meta that you see so much on defences, and she's pretty much made having Emily and Leo on your defensive team rather a bad choice. Whenever I see either of those on a team now, I reach for the naughty bunny and put her straight in my lineup for the attack. So for me, she's certainly worth having, but I don't see much need to go crazy on starring her up because I've got good runes for her and that's done absolutely fine. So I'd recommend that for you as well. If you've got good runes, don't bother with the stars quite just yet. And she's actually great fun to use in PvP. The corpse stomping makes me laugh every time. I guess it appeals to my dark sense of humour. Anyway, until next time folks, Get some usage out of her, let me know how you get on. That's all for now, guys. Please do leave comments, questions or suggestions in the comments section below. I'll always try to answer. Remember to check out the rest of my YouTube channel for more Dungeon Boss videos, or search Zombie Dungeon Boss in Google or YouTube for more. Don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.